Hi everyone. Okay, I'm looking a little haggard. Welcome to another declutter video. In this video, we're going to be decluttering foundations, concealers, and primers. So again, I just got to get some of this stuff out of my collection. It's been sitting there forever, so I am excited to do that with you guys, and we'll see how much we can get rid of. Okay, I usually lay out all of the products on a table, but I thought we would just do it in the drawer. Honestly, I'm feeling kind of, I'm pre-filming a little bit because I'm going back to work and my pregnancy sleepies are setting in. So I just thought it might be fun to do it in the drawer. Let me know what you think about this. So this is mostly just foundations and primers. I have a few other things in here. So for example, makeup remover wipes in case I need them. Right now, these are my favorite makeup remover wipes. They're so good. I actually tried to find some today to repurchase because these are actually biodegradable in your compost, but I think they must be catching on because they were all sold out. And then I keep my makeup sponge, which I need to clean. Sorry, that's gross. In a little holder in here, so just so it doesn't get things all makeup-y. And then my moisturizer for before I put on makeup, just because, you know, this is the first drawer, so it's nice to have these three things really easily accessible, but pretty much everything else in here is a primer or a foundation. Oh, and I have some puffs in here too. Puffs that also need to be cleaned. Okay, so I should preface by saying any glowy primer in here I'm going to be keeping, but I will talk a little bit about each one because I want to do a ranking video of glowy primers. So that's why I'll be keeping all of them. Doesn't mean I necessarily love all of them, but I just figured I would kind of preface with that. So here we have the Natasha Denona High Glam Concealer. I love this. It is so pretty and hydrating, has good coverage. The one thing I'll say about this is I apply too much sometimes, and when I blend it into the outer corner, after a couple of hours, it'll start to kind of crinkle up and not pill up, but kind of crinkle up a little bit. So I try to keep this as close to my inner corner as possible and then kind of shear it out as it goes more towards my outer corner. And I haven't noticed that with a lot of other concealers. So I love this concealer. It's just something to note if you have, I don't know, more wrinkles around your eyes or maybe smaller eyes, because I have pretty small eyes, that it might be something to take note of. But once I started applying less, I didn't have that problem. And as long as I keep it, you know, the majority of where I apply close to my inner corner. Okay, here we have the Rare Beauty. This is their brightener in light. You guys, this doesn't do anything. I have tried this in so many ways. It feels nice to apply with this metal little, not exactly a ball, but this little applicator. It's just so hydrating and such a thin formula that it breaks up underneath concealer, and then when I use it on its own, it still looks weird and crinkly under my eyes. So I'm gonna declutter this. I don't like this. Okay, this I actually know because I tried to use it this morning. I have used Completely Up. This was a little bit too light for under the eyes, and the undertone was not quite right. Although I have one that I feel is even lighter, but I feel like the undertone just wasn't quite right. This is the Flower Beauty Light Illusion Concealer. I've had it a long time. So it is really nice. It's just I would need to get a different shade. So what I tend to do when I get the wrong shade of concealers is I use this as a cream highlight for the high points of my face, and that's how I end up using a lot of concealers up that don't work for me. So that's mostly how I used this up, and it is empty, so this needs to move to my empties. This is the newest concealer that I have bought. This is the Shape Tape in the shade 12N. This is their little mini size that you can try. This is actually even lighter than the Light Illusion, but the undertone is better for me. So this looks so pretty when it's blended out. I talked about this in a recent video. I used to not like this, but I think my skin type changed, and now the coverage, I mean, again, I only have to put a little bit near the inner corner and then just blend it out, and it looks so pretty when it sets too. I can't believe that it took me, I'm like, what, 7 years too late on this one, but I do really like it, and I would repurchase. I'm just not crazy about the smell. Although I do think in pregnancy, now that I'm like, am I halfway through my first trimester? Yeah, I'm about halfway through my first trimester. So, not first, oh my gosh, you guys, pregnancy brain. I'm halfway through my second trimester, And I feel like now my nose is starting to settle down with how strong things smell. So this is more bearable. Okay, this one, oh, this makes me so upset because this is Armani and this is too dark. Way too dark for under my eyes. But you know what, I'm keeping it because I use this when I have bad blemishes, because it's a little too dark for me, but if you're just putting it under foundation or something, it's not that bad. And I feel, it's so mad because I bought it and it's Armani. Someone actually shade matched this to me too in Sephora, so it's kind of like, this isn't right. But you know, it's my fault for letting her convince me the shade was correct. So yeah, this is in the shade 3.5, but I'm gonna keep it. I like it, but I would love to, you know, someday, except it's so expensive, get a much lighter shade to use actually under my eyes. Okay, Milani Conceal and Perfect. This is too dark for me too, for under the eyes. I've used a lot of it up. You can see that there. It looks like I've kind of scraped it clean. There's still some left. I think I use this for blemishes too. It's kind of getting old. I wonder if I should just get rid of it. I think I'll just declutter this one because I have the Armani for blemishes and this is too dark to use as a highlighter, so I'm gonna declutter this one. This is definitely too dark for me, but it's on purpose. So this is the Lancome Ton Idol Ultra Wear Camouflage. This, my friends, is the best for blemishes. I don't even want to use it up because it's expensive and it literally lasts me forever because that's all I use it for. The coverage on this is amazing. I remember when I bought it, the clerk was telling me, I should grab this makeup removal wipe here. The clerk was actually telling me that a lot of people that she knows use this as their foundation because it has really good coverage, and it totally does. I wouldn't use this under the eyes because I think this would be even above Shape Tape kind of level coverage, but it is beautiful and I love using it for blemishes. When I was having the worst pregnancy acne, I would use this and it would really cover it up. I mean, my acne was really, really bad. So I'm keeping this. This is the second or third one I've gone through, and again, it takes me over a year because that's all I use it for, but I love it. What shade is this? It doesn't 30W? Wait, N? I don't know what shade this is, but it works really well. Highly recommend if you have a lot to cover or that you would like to cover. Another one that I hate, you guys, and the smell, nope. Don't like the smell. It's their Butter Glow Concealer. It's not good. I feel like it's just so watery. I feel like it's not even good for that liquid highlighting that I was talking about. I'm just going to declutter this. This is pointless. I mean, I tried to use it obviously and it just didn't work well. So I'm going to declutter this. I don't like this at all. Okay, we have the e.l.f. Liquid Poreless Putty Primer. I'm like just, you know what? This is just about out. So I'm gonna put this in my empties too. I really, really like this. It is very good. Great for filling in pores. So would totally repurchase. I think this is the first one I had. I'm not sure if, yeah, I think this is the original one that I had. So it took me a while to get through it too, because you only need a really little bit. So highly recommend this one too. Okay, guys, this is another one. This is too dark. This is the Shiseido Synchro Skin, and I know Jessica Braun really loves this concealer, but this is just too dark for under my eyes. This is when I used to use foundation that was a little bit darker for me, and now I've used way lighter ones. This is in shade 202 Light. You know what though? I think I'm gonna keep this one. Sometimes I have foundations that are too light for me, and I'll kind of like balance them out with a concealer, not under my eyes, but again on the high points of my face and stuff like that, just to try to make the color balance a little bit. So I'm gonna keep this for that because I do like the formula, and it's not too dark like some of the other ones, so I'm gonna keep this one. Okay, I'm gonna get rid of this. This is the Morphe Eyelid Primer. I got this for free with a purchase from Morphe, and it's old now, you guys. It's 2+ years old, so I'm gonna get rid of this. This is the Anastasia Eye Primer. This one is awesome. It is a white, so it really helps shadows pop. You can see that on there. It's really nice, and it lasts you forever. This is the same one. Again, this one's kind of old, but I actually use it every single day. And then as a drugstore option, I always like to have at least one drugstore option that I can talk about. So this is the Milani Eyeshadow Primer. I like it too. It's not opaque like that one is, but it does help with creasing. So it's a totally different shade too. It's more of a skin tone kind of shade, but I'm gonna keep this too. Okay, now we are getting into my glowy primers. This is the Maybelline 4-in-1 Perfector. I've obviously used almost the whole thing up, and this is the second one that I've purchased. This is one of my all-time favorite glowy primers. It's really lightweight. It doesn't show glitter on the face. It's just perfect. I freaking love this thing. This one's newer to me. I'm still trying it out. It's the Neutrogena Radiant Primer Plus Serum. I've liked it when I've used it, but I just haven't used it enough times, and I feel like I've kind of was turned off from this because this is really expensive. It was like $20-something for this at Walmart. So it kind of turned me off, but I need to use it more because, like I said, it is nice. I don't know if it's that special. I don't know. I'll have to do a video and let you guys know. This I freaking love too. It's the Physicians Formula Butter Glow Liquid Highlighter. This is so pretty under very matte foundations. There actually is glitter in it, but you know, I've been using this for a long time and I only realized that it has glitter in it in the last couple of days because I was using like a 5-time magnifying mirror and I was like, oh wow, there's actually glitter in this, but to the point where you wouldn't even notice unless you were super up close. And if you're, now this is gonna look like Tin Man if you're using it on its own, but if you are actually putting a foundation over it, this is absolutely gorgeous. I love it so much. It has a strong smell though, similar to the highlighter smell, but because I love the product so much, I will deal with the smell. The L'Oreal Lumi Glotion, I love this one too. This one has more glowiness than the Maybelline 4-in-1, but less glowiness than the Physicians Formula. It is possible to use too much of this one. It can kind of pill up under makeup if you use too much. So that's something to take note of, but it is really pretty. There's a reason why it's been a cult favorite for such a long time. The Flower Beauty Skin Smoothie Radiant Glow Primer, I need to keep using. I kind of stopped because again, it has a really strong scent. And when, oh yeah, this one, ugh, I like it way less than even the Physicians Formula one because it kind of smells like perfumey, kind of powdery in a bad way. So I haven't used it as much, but I need to for that video to test it out. So I can't really say much about it because I've only used it a couple times because I bought it when I was like first pregnant, before I was really having aversions and stuff. So I just haven't used it enough, but it looks pretty. But yeah, I do want to do a video ranking all of these eventually. Oh, we have a little mini of the e.l.f. Power Grip Primer. I love this. It does such a good job of holding onto your makeup. I only have a little bit left. Funny thing about this, if you get the smaller size, it actually lasted me, this is my second one, way longer than the full size with the pump, because the pump gets a lot of product out there, whereas this is a squeezy, so a little bit goes a long way with this and you only need a little bit. So that's my recommendation to you. I think they're actually a similar price point, but this one, it just goes a longer way. It lasted me way longer because you're not squeezing out as much as the pump. You know, you don't have a lot of control with the pump as much as you do with the squeezing. So I love this. These are my last two primers. These came in e.l.f. order. Because I'm out of the liquid putty primer, this is what I'm using right now. It's their matte poreless putty primer and it works really well. And I like that it's a mini size and I will use it up. Great for travel, but even not when I'm traveling, because I have it, it's better for me to just use this up instead of buying another, you know, poreless putty primer. So keeping this, I've never used this one. This is the luminous one. Ooh, okay. So, wow, maybe I need to include this in glowy primers. I wouldn't think that I would, but I guess it makes sense. That is really pretty. Okay, I need to try this. Oh, wow, and I just dropped it. Oh no, we're just gonna leave it there. It's fine. Like I said, I'm having a lazy pregnancy day, you guys. Okay, we're on to foundations. e.l.f. Soft Glam. This is still so new to me. I do really like it. It looks best in the first 4 to 5 hours. After that, it starts to not look so great. But if you're only going to be wearing it for a short amount of time, it is really nice. So if you're running errands or something, I'm going to keep this because it is so new to me. Misha Perfect Cover BB Cream. This is a smaller size that I got from TJ Maxx. This is in shade 21. Let me look up the ingredients in this. Okay, I just ran this through my pregnancy app, and actually there's some things in here that I thought like, oh, it's actually a mineral sunscreen, but no, there's one sunscreen ingredient in here that does make it a chemical sunscreen, so I can't use this while I'm pregnant. Also, it's old, so I'm just gonna declutter it. I'm just gonna throw it away because it's old, and I'm sure it was old when I got it from TJ Maxx. But I do want to repurchase this after I give birth because I actually really liked this. Similar but a little bit less coverage than the It Cosmetics CC cream. So I'm going to get rid of it just because I'm pregnant, and by the time I actually give birth and can use it again, it's going to be really old. So after I give birth, I will repurchase this, but I'm going to get rid of it for now. But I used up a good chunk of this because I really liked it. Okay, L'Oreal True Match. I've used a lot of this. This is probably my favorite drugstore foundation. It is really nice. It lasts all day. It's in the shade N1, which is a pretty darn good shade match for me. So I'm going to keep this. I always like to have drugstore options, especially when they're good. On the flip side, I think I'm going to get rid of this one because I've had it for a long time and it's a little bit too light for me. It's the Maybelline Super Stay 24-Hour Skin Tint. Yeah, this was a little bit too light for me, and I don't know. I don't think it agreed with my skin type very well, and I've only reached for it a handful of times. I think I liked it in the video, but again, I like my foundation to last a long time. And for example, okay, so comparing these two, this is really easy to put on. This is not super easy to put on because it's really liquidy. So for me, I'd be more willing to keep this one because it's easy to apply, especially when I'm going to wear it for a short time. This one, for me, not as easy to apply, and it only wears well on my skin for a short amount of time. So I am going to get rid of this. Okay, this is actually what I'm wearing today. It's the Tarte Amazonian Clay 16-Hour Full Coverage Foundation. I really like this. The smell is a lot. So during pregnancy, I had kind of stopped using it because it is so strong. Again, I started using it the last couple of days and the smell doesn't bother me nearly as much. So I think that's, you know, symptom is starting to calm down. But if you like full coverage, this is for you. But I have to wear a glowy primer underneath, but this lasts freaking all day. It is so nice. The shade match is a little light for me, but it's totally workable, especially once everything else is blended on top. I have it on 20N light neutral. So I really like this, definitely keeping it. This was one of my absolute favorite foundations in the first trimester of my pregnancy because it doesn't really have a smell. The only thing is this is very easily manipulated by what you put underneath for better or for worse. If you're overly hydrated, for me, this tends to like not look good, like bunch up and just break apart and not look good. So actually, I like to use this foundation with no primers underneath because I find it looks best when there's no primer, but it is really nice. It can last all day. It is a medium coverage. It's supposed to be full. To me, this is not nearly as full coverage as something like this, but it is really nice. And it is, as far as I know, I've checked everything I've used on my face. Yeah, this is really nice. So I like this a lot. I have absolutely loved this in pregnancy. This has been my favorite foundation. I bought it in my second trimester, but I mean, I wish I had it in my first. The ingredients are, you know, for the most part, pretty pregnancy safe. And I have always loved this shade. It's Mont Blanc. This is the NARS, which one? I always forget which one this is. Radiant? Oh, sorry. NARS Light Reflecting Foundation. And yeah, you have to shake well. But this is so nice. It lasts all day. It's kind of a perfect medium coverage. Doesn't have a scent. It's just great. Easy to apply. I love it. Okay, this I haven't used since I've been pregnant, I don't think. I would have to check on the ingredients of this one, but this is not that old, so I'm going to keep this. I really like this. This is awesome for when you're just running errands. The CoverGirl Simply Ageless Skin Perfector Essence. This, I know it went through a lot of kind of virality, but it's really cool. You crush up, when you use your brush or your sponge, you crush up these little pigments and it looks good. It's too light for me, but I mean, I'm usually wearing it for such a short amount of time, I don't really care. But I do really like this, but it is kind of pricey too. But I know it's supposed to be a dupe for some super high-end product. So I'm gonna keep this. Love the Estee Lauder Double Wear. Again, this is super high coverage. This is in the shade 1N1. I actually got this from TJ Maxx and I couldn't believe they had my shade. But I'm almost running out of this. I don't know if you can tell. but I've used up almost all of it. I don't really want to dump this onto my hand right now. So that's the only thing about this, is that there's no pump. So this is very well loved. I would totally repurchase it. It was great that it was at TJ Maxx, but that probably means it's getting kind of old, so it's good I'm almost done using it. This one, Lancome Teint Idol Ultra Wear. This was my favorite foundation for such a long time. It is such a nice foundation. The only thing is, this is dun 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 dun, a chemical sunscreen, so I cannot wear it during pregnancy, but I look forward to wearing it again after I give birth. So I do love this. It's been a favorite for a long time. Okay, last two, you guys. This is pretty much empty. This is my Dior Air Flash. They have discontinued this. This is the foundation I used at my wedding. Yeah, it is. It's in an aerosol, you know, spray can, obviously. This is the most beautiful foundation I've ever used to this day. There's a reason I used it at my wedding, and it was just about to be discontinued when I got married. So it was perfect. I was able to buy the last one. This needs to move into my little makeup museum drawer, because again, I've used it for so many important events, and my wedding day, like, I don't want to get rid of it, but I've also used it 2 different times as a bridesmaid. It's such a good foundation. It lasts all day. It is truly water resistant. It looks good in flash photography. Ugh, it breaks my heart, but it probably was not very good for you, and that's probably why they discontinued it. So this is gonna move into that drawer. And last but not least, my IT Cosmetics CC cream. This has been a favorite throughout my pregnancy so far because it is a mineral sunscreen, which is exciting. The only thing, again, the scent was really strong. I'm good with it now, and really I used it anyway because I still liked it so much, and it's so easy to apply. It gives you such a good coverage so quickly. So love, love, love this. I've used a lot of it up, but obviously it's going back in my collection, so love this. Okay, we gotta organize this drawer. I need to wipe out this drawer. This is glue. That was weird. That was glue. Okay, eventually I should really get an organizer for this drawer, but this is definitely much better. It looks less cluttered. I tried to kind of do rhyme or reason to it, glowy, more matte concealers, and then more drugstore, and then also by coverage, so kind of. Let's see, I'm keeping 24 products, keeping in mind some of the glowy primers I wouldn't necessarily keep, but I'm keeping them for a video. And I'm actually getting rid of 9 products, which is pretty good. So it's a good chunk. Pretty good for me. And this drawer is looking better. That's the main thing. Some of these things I just absolutely hated, so it'll be good to get them out of my collection. All right, everyone, that is everything. I'm sure we'll be coming back with another declutter video soon. If you enjoyed this video, I hope that you will give it a thumbs up. It does really help out my channel. I hope you'll also subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you get notified when I upload new videos. And I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your day. Love you guys. Bye.